Morning Year 6 and welcome to Thursday's maths video. Today we're going to continue looking at interpreting pie charts involving percentages. As normal, I'd like you to pause the video, have a go at your Fluent in 5 and we'll go through the answers in a second. So hopefully you paused the video. So 879 times 9 is 7,911. Now you had a missing number divided by 3 gave us 1.45. You needed to do the inverse here and do 1.45 times 3, which would have given you 4.35. Then you did 3/5 times 2, which gave you 6/5, or 1 whole and 1/5, and then 12 squared, which is the same as 12 times 12, which is 144. Then we had 896,932, take away 1,859, which gives you 895,073. Well done if you got those right. So, I'm not going to give you an example today because this is actually very similar to what we did yesterday. Now if you find it incredibly tricky, you can go back and watch yesterday's video. I will go through it afterwards when we go through the answers, so don't panic too much, but all of the information you need is there. See if you can work out how many cars she saw in total and how many of each colour car she saw. Now I do want you to do it the proper way, but there's also a little bit of a clue there to look at the black car segment because that is a bit of a clue. Good luck, pause the video and I'll go through the answers in a second. So hopefully you paused the video. Now, if you looked at the black segment carefully, you will have noticed it's a quarter. And we know that a quarter is 25%. But I don't want you to rely on visual methods like that all of the time because it may look like a quarter and not always be a quarter. It could be 27% and just look very much like 25. So I did want you to add up your percentages, to add all of the percentages you've been given to calculate how many you've got so far, and that will allow you to work out how many more to get to 100. So you know if you added all of these together, you got 75%. You know that you need 25 more percent to get to 100, so you know your missing percentage is 25. So whilst it is a quarter today, and that was a bit of a clue, don't always rely on the visual methods because it may not be completely accurate. But your 24 cars is 25%. Now you know what your quarter is, what your 25% is, that actually allows you to work out your 100%, because there are 4 quarters in a whole, or there are 4 lots of 25% in 100%. So you multiply your 24 cars by 4 to find your total car amount. So 24 times 4 is 96. So there are 96 cars in total. Now we know our total, we can move on to the next part, which is working out individual amounts. Now I'd really like you to use the bubble method here, especially as we are beginning to get into decimals. So 100% is obviously 96. We calculated that by doing 24 times 4 to work out the overall amount. So 10% is 9.6 because we divided it by 10. 1% is 0.96 because we've divided 9.6 by 10, or our original number, by 100. Then you've got 50%, which is 48 because it's half of 100%. And then you've got 24, which is 25%. Now 24 is half of 48 because 25% is half of 50%. You can also use your 50% to work out what 5% would be. Divide your 50% by 10 to give you 4.8. Now you can use combinations of all of those numbers to work out the missing percentage, to work out the amount of the missing percentages. So 17%, if you added together a 10%, a 5% and some 1%, you would have got 17% as 16.32. Now, you'll notice that over in my pie chart for 17%, I've written 16 cars. Now yes, my accurate answer of 17% of 96 is 16.32. But we have been asked to calculate how many cars. Now as it's a car, it needs to be rounded to the nearest whole number because you need a whole car. You can't have 0.32 of a car, or if you did, it probably wouldn't drive. So 16.32 to the nearest whole number, you need to look at your tenths column and it's below 5, so you stay the same. So there's 16 cars. So 16 cars are green and 16 cars are grey. Then 33%. You could have worked that out by doing 3 lots of 10%, 3 lots of 1% and adding them together, and that would have given you 31.68. Again, we need a whole number because we are looking for whole cars. If you look carefully at your tenths column, it is above 5, so you round up to 32. So there are 32 red cars. Lastly, 8%. You could have done that by multiplying 1% by 8. You could have done it by finding 10% and taking away 2%, or you could have done it by finding 5% and then adding 1% until you got to 8. And you should have had 7.68. Again, you can't have 0.68 of a whole car. So we look at our tenths column, it's 6 again, which means we round up, so we get 8 whole cars. That tells us there are 24 black cars, 16 green cars, 32 red cars, 8 blue cars, and 16 grey cars. Very well done if you got that right. That's really good. Very well done. I will see you tomorrow for more maths fun. Goodbye.